Indian gaming began in the 1970s when tribes started offering high-stakes bingo. Only a few tribes began with Indian gaming, but soon several tribes started doing it. In 1988, Congress enacted a law called the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act that creates a regulatory structure for Indian gaming. That both confirmed the existence of Indian gaming and allowed it to continue in the future, and it gave states a limited role in Indian gaming, because tribes that want to operate casinos, casino-style gaming, have to first have a state tribal compact. They have to go to the state to get an agreement to operate such gaming. Gaming has been successful for numerous tribes around the country. It has not been successful for all tribes. Some of our biggest and largest, poorest tribes do not operate gaming at all. So it has not solved all the problems in Indian country by any means. It's given a handful of tribes fabulous wealth, and it's given a large number of tribes the basic income to be able to build schools and hospitals and improve education and social services and roads and those sorts of things. But it has not reached all tribes equally.
With respect to the gaming industry in Indian country, tribes have done an excellent job at regulating themselves. How will you ensure tribes continue to have the autonomy to self-regulate, grow their economies, and build their governments?
When you have a president who understands that sovereignty must go to every area, including gaming, then you have the circumstances where the tribal communities can be self-determining. Now, this will be a new era, because it means that for the first time, people will not have to get clearance from government. When you take the responsibility for self-determination, that then is where, it's where things should have been hundreds of years ago. So we're talking about restoring that breach, and it goes back to sovereignty. So yes, it must cover everything, including decisions that are made with respect to casinos. Do you have a follow-up question on that?
No.
Thank you very much. Next question.
So we have 184 current tribes, but we really work in Washington, D.C. on behalf of all gaming tribes. And what we're really doing is trying to educate Congress about what's happening in Indian country, our right to game as sovereign governments, and a lot of great things that we're doing in our industry. We spent a lot of time trying to do that, and we have a new Congress in Washington, D.C. So our industry is always moving, always evolving. So we're always prepared for the highs and lows, and I think that because of what Indian gaming and what it brings to our communities and the things that it's done for our communities, I think it's an easy thing to do, to educate, but getting the voice, getting out there, getting the word out there about the true aspects of why tribal government gaming is so valuable to our world, to rebuilding Indian country, is sometimes a bit of a challenge. But I think the other blessing is that, my daddy, and God bless him, my dad is a beautiful man, has so many accomplishments, but he built a lot of those facilities in his role as a development director. He now lives in the Anna John Nursing Home in Oneida. And, what they built, I remember the Turtle School going up. I remember breaking ground for the Turtle School. I remember signing the bars when they broke ground for that. All my kids have come through that system. The Oneida Nation Turtle School is a state-of-the-art facility that educates our children about in today's world and blends the culture and tradition. It's built in the shape of a turtle. And, my father was one of the folks that helped put that together, along with a lot of other Oneidas and outside folks. And I think those are the key components, the educational and elderly opportunities that we have in taking care of our community. That's really the blessing of gaming. We do have these situations where people want to solve their budget problems on the backs of Indian tribes. I can't speak to every specific issue, but I assure you that we'll stand firm when it comes to that. We need every dollar we can in Indian country, because all the things that are happening in this world as we see it today, I always say to America, welcome to our world. We've been fighting these budgets. We've been fighting to try to keep ourselves on our feet forever. And the budget deficit and constraints and changes and layoffs, we've always been, I think that's why so many of our tribes are being able to work their way through these issues, because they've done this. They spend their whole life trying to keep the budget balanced, try to make a cut here to make ends meet here. I think it's something that we're ready for, but in this time, what we're trying to do is, again, keep doing what we're doing what we're used to doing, but at the same time, we really want to be careful about waiting for this to get better. I think it's real important in Indian country that we attack this and that we work at this together as tribes. We try to make this not just Indian country better, but make America better, because I don't think we can afford to wait for the recession to go away. We have to help it go away. We have to help each other help it go away. So it's really a time. I ran on a position of unity, and if there's no better time now than to stand united, it's in our economy. Well, the numbers, I think, I'll give you a couple different numbers. Just off the top of my head, 500,000 jobs in this economy. You know, it's amazing. And, you know, we've opened up facilities during this tough times. And we've got some facilities that are doing good. And we have facilities that could...
and expanded others.
Yeah. And at the same time, we do have our folks that have struggled to try to make this thing work. I think that the key component here is that we understand what we're going through, and we're working through this. So it's really, you know, from my standpoint, when I can walk into a facility when the recession was toughest 3-4 years ago, and see these people working, being able to have a job. You know, we've all been there. We've all been through tough times. We didn't know where we were going to buy the groceries next week. We didn't know how we were going to fix a tire so we can get to work. These are tough times for everybody, and for Indian Gaming to provide 500,000 jobs, a lot of people are getting to work. A lot of people are being able to feed their families, and the industry is about 26 billion holding, but another 3 billion in ancillary type of employment and other advantages like that. So, you know, we hundreds of thousands of dollars to charity, hundreds of thousands of dollars to local municipal agreements. So Indian Gaming is doing great things, and we're not exempt from this tough times. But again, it's like I say, Indian country, welcome to our world. We've been making budget for a long time.